Hello to everyone who's watching my video. I am Lara May Gonzalez. I am a grade 2 teacher and currently studying at USTP with my Master of Arts in teaching English as secondary language class. So many teachers, even working adults, college students, high school students have this difficulty in expressing themselves in English. I myself am not that confident too. But in this video, I am trying to share with you some tips on how to improve our pronunciation and diction. So let's start. For us to improve our pronunciation, let us first understand what it means. So, by definition, pronunciation is the act or result of producing the sounds of speech, including articulation, stress, and intonation, often with reference to some standard of correctness or acceptability. It is also defined as a phonetic transcription of a given word or sound, and etc. So there are many ways on how people pronounce a certain word. There is what we call cultural background. There is what we call the origin of the word. And when you say English, there are many variety or types. Okay, we have, but the two major Englishes are the British English and the American English. But people nowadays, since language is evolving and it is dynamic, and it also has its implication to the history of a certain country. So some countries have evolved and has developed their own way of speaking English. And so some people say in China, they call it Qingling or Chinese English. And for us Filipinos, we have this Filipino English. But there is a standard way of pronouncing the words. Okay, so it is still on a debate whether or not it is acceptable to have this what we call Filipino English, like our own way of saying English words, of speaking the English language, like it, like as if we own it. Okay, but there is this problem that may arise, like for example, you think this is acceptable, you speak this way, English this way in here in the Philippines, because it is what we call Filipino language, Filipino English. But what if you go to the United States? Are you sure that you'll be understood by people there using the Filipino English that you learned, that you speak? So that's kind of probably confusing, or probably will be giving us a problem to communicate with others. But in pronunciation, there is really a standard of correctness or acceptability. Whatever the origin, whatever the cultural background, the historical background of the kind of English that you are speaking, there is really a standard correctness of acceptability when it comes to pronouncing the words. So diction, by definition, is a style of speaking or writing as dependent upon choice of words or good diction. It can also mean the accent, the inflection, the intonation, and speech sound quality manifested by an individual speaker, usually judged in terms of prevailing standards of acceptability and enunciation. So diction has something to do with the the origin, something to do with the culture of the people speaking that language, and of course the choice of words. It pertains to the choice. Okay, depends. of how the person speak the words. That is your diction. It is how you speak the sentences. It is how you express yourselves. So that is your own diction. And accent. It is a distinctive mode of pronunciation of a language, especially one associated with a particular nation, locality, or social class. It is a distinct emphasis given to a syllable or word in speech by stress or pitch. So the two most common English accents that we do have is the American accent and the British accent. Okay, so American accent, for me, in my own opinion, is more. It is for us Filipinos, since we are colonized by the Americans, so we sound like more of an American accent. Okay, that's how we Filipinos speak the language, English language in particular, because we have been colonized by the Americans. British accent, on the other hand, is for me, it's so classy, so gentle, so like it seems that if you are good at it, then you belong to the higher class, the social, higher level. Okay, just but uh, for us Filipinos, American, we are more on the accent, like American accent. We are more on that. But some of us are also good. Like they will say, "Where did you go? How do you like your cup of tea? How do you like your cup of tea?" So it's like at the end, it's like rising. That's how British is. But I'm not so good at it. So yeah, in my way, in my me, I prefer, or I must say, I sound like I'm more on of American accent. Then we have IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA, is an alphabet developed in the 19th century to accurately represent the pronunciation of languages. One aim of the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA, was to provide a unique symbol for each distinctive sound in a language. That is, every sound or a phoneme that serves to distinguish one word from another. So you can see this in the dictionary. Okay. So if you are not so sure of how to pronounce a certain word, you can consult or take a look at the dictionary and find that you can find there the IPA, the phone or the phonetic spelling of the word, and that will give you the idea on how to pronounce the word correctly. So that is for standard English. Okay. So we have a lot of English, like Filipino English, Singaporean English, Chinese English, American English, British English, but there is what we call standard English. The standard English is the language of the academe. It is the academic English that is um, the language of researches of the world of academia. So when we teach and we want to learn something, it's better for us to go with the standard English, the one that is uh, the one that is really used in the world of academia, because um, wherever you go, in whatever level your English would be, as long as it is in a standard way, so it is a assurance that you will be understood by people all over the world, wherever you go, as long as you have that, as long as you're using standard English. And that's for my own opinion. I am not sure if you agree with me, but that's just my opinion. So this is how the IPA chart looks like. You can see there how the vowels and the consonants are sounded, and you can see there the voice in the unvoiced. So these are the symbols that you can see in the dictionary. Yes, so it is It will help us understand, help us pronounce the words correctly. And so this is the IPA transcription so this is like, for example, pronunciation. So it is how we can see the word in the alphabet in the dictionary. So pronunciation, teaching. So these are the symbols. So this will give us an idea on how to correctly pronounce these words. So based on how it is written in an IPA, it is how it is pronounced. Okay. So now uh, I will be presenting to you 14 steps on how to greatly improve your pronunciation. These are the steps. These are actually the tips that, and also the exercises that I do, that I practice in order to improve my pronunciation. The first one is learn to listen. Before you learn how to speak, you'll need to learn how to listen. Some sounds can be hard to tell apart when you're listening. Did the speaker sleep or slip? Did he hurt his shin or his shin? If you can hear the difference, it will be easier to speak the difference. The better you get at hearing words, the better you will become at pronouncing them. So here's the tip. If you want to know how native English speakers speak the language, then listen. Listen to podcasts, listen to radio, listen to their conversations, okay? So if you'll do that regularly, then subconsciously, okay, you'll be able to imitate them. You'll be able to see the patterns and how they speak the language, and you'll be able to eventually sounds like them or sound like a native English speaker. Yes. So listening is very important. Tip number 2, notice how your mouth and lips move. When you speak, you move your mouth, of course. How you move your mouth affects how you pronounce a word. The first step to correcting your mouth shape is to notice it and pay attention. There are a few ways you can check that your mouth and lips are making the correct shape. So in the IPA, there are actually a lot of videos on YouTube wherein you can see how the native speakers pronounce a certain word, how they say the phonics, how they say the vowels and the consonants, the diphthongs. So there are many videos online that we can use. And there you will be taught, we will be given tips on how to correct our mouth and lip formation, our jaw, the how we open our mouth, the where should the tongue be, or how we place how where when where or and how we'll place our tongue when we say these words, and is it in the lower lip or the upper lip that should be like that. So yeah, there are many resources that we can search online that will give us somehow good ideas. So the first, you can try this one. Use a mirror. This is by far the simplest way to tell your mouth is doing while you talk. And this is what I do. Yes, when I was young, like high school or elementary grade, I do this one. Like I always talk to myself at the mirror, trying to rehearse some lines on the movie that I watch. But the for me, when I was in high school, I love reading speeches. Okay, so I read a speech while looking at myself in the mirror and trying to imagine that I am speaking in front of a big audience, and gives me uh, that gives me thrill. I don't know, but I hope it works. I believe it works because that what it's so helpful and effective for me. Maybe it works for you too. You can have a try. There's nothing wrong and there's no harm in trying. Another is you put a finger on front of your lips, like you're saying shh. And as you speak, don't move your finger. You should feel your lips moving away or pushing against your finger. Yes. So watch other people. Another thing, watch other people and notice the shape their mouth and lips make when they talk. Try following along with your favorite TV show or movie. And then, can you repeat the faces and sounds that the actors are making? So if you love watching movies and at the same time, you love to improve your English, then watch English movies. Yeah. So it's like hitting two birds in one stone. You are enjoying the movie, at the same time, you are improving your English skills, right? Yes. Pay attention to your tongue. The main difference between rise and lies is in your tongue. When you speak, you move your tongue to make sounds. You probably didn't even notice that, since you do it without thinking. To improve your English pronunciation, it's a good idea to check what your tongue is doing. So for us Filipinos, we have this somehow thick accent. It is because it is how we speak in our first language. If you're a Visayas, if you're living in Mindanao and Visayas, so we speak in Visayan. Okay, so we have this e, o, u. So we have this thick accent of the vowels, and so there is a need for us to really differentiate and identify how we say the vowels when we speak in English, because that would be different if we speak or sound or produce the sound of the vowels in Filipino or in Bisaya. So some difficult sounds of non-native speakers to make are the letters L and R and the sound th. Pronouncing them correctly is all in the tongue. So if you got the right position of your tongue, then that will be a great leap for you to pronounce words correctly and sound like a native American English speaker. So it all upon you, how you place your tongue. So we must be paying attention to that. Like for example, we Filipinos, we pronounce the vowel letter I with E. Iibigin kita. Iibigin. But in English, we don't say E like when you say hit, hit, H-I-T. We don't say heat. If we say heat, then that is a different word. But if in English, all right, if you want to pronounce the word H-I-T, then it's going to be hit. Okay? Because in English, they pronounce the vowel I, the short I, with it, not E. Okay. So break words down into sounds. Words are made up of syllables or parts. The word syllable, the word syllable, for example, has 3 syllables. We have syllable. Turning words into parts can make them easier to pronounce. To check how many syllables a word has, place your hand flat just under your chin and say the word slowly. Each time your chin touches your hand, that's a syllable. 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 So my chin touches my finger 3 times. Syllable. Therefore, the word syllable has 3 syllables. Okay, it just popped up in my mind that's it. That's why when I teach my students reading, may it be reading or speaking, I don't um I don't really like when they read the word math, M-A-T, the M-A-T. So I don't say mat, bat, because that is how we read that words in Filipino. But in English, it should be mat, bat, cat. Okay, so that's how it works for my students. I don't enunciate, I don't prolong the word. I mean, yeah, I don't know how it works, but for me, I do like that. When I teach them words, vocabulary, words to read, or to speak a sentence, so that's how I do it. Like, what's your name? I don't say, what's your name? What's your name? So for my students to copy that it's how it should be spoken. All right. Add stress to sounds and words. English is a stressed language. So this is the difference between our language, Filipino language and English language. Filipino English is a syllable time language. Like we pronounce the word syllabic through syllables, like mahal kita, and all the syllables are pronounced in the same way all throughout. But in English, they are more in stress, because English is not a syllable time language, just like Philippine language, but English is a stress language. That means some words and sounds are more important than the others. You can hear this when you say the word out loud. For example, the word introduce is pronounced with a stress at the end. So it sounds like this: introduce, introduce. So there are three syllables, and the last syllable is being stressed. Introduce. Yes, and that's how Native American English speakers say the words. Sometimes, where you put the stress in the word can change the word's meaning. That is why it is very, very important for us to pay attention to how we put the stress in a certain word, because that will somehow changes the meaning of the word. Say this word out loud: present, like present. If you said present, you are talking about a noun. That means either right at this moment or a gift. So for example, you'll say, I'm giving you this present. Wow, thank you so much. I do appreciate. I love your present. So maybe you are giving him or her a gift. Or if someone like your teacher will ask you, is okay, say present if your name is called Lara, and I'll say present. Okay. But if you will put the stress on the second syllable, then you can say it this way: present. You are talking about a verb that means to give or show. I would like to present to you my my let us say my project. Okay, another project. So if you mean the noun, so you will say project. But if you are going to, you mean a verb or an action that says you're pointing out something, then you'll say project. Same words with, same spelling, but with different meaning, depends on where you put the stress. Okay, so there are rules for where the stress goes in each word. Here's one rule. Most two-syllable nouns are stressed on the first syllable. So if there are two-syllable nouns, the first syllable is being stressed, and most two-syllable verbs are stressed on the second syllable. That's just like the word present. It's a noun. Present is a verb. Here's another example. The noun address is the place where you live, and the verb address is to speak to someone. Okay? Another. I'll be using this in sentences. May I know your address? Mm. That's a noun. The word address is a noun. But if I'll say, I would like to address my concern to your manager. Address. Address. So the on the second sentence, the second syllable was stressed. So that means it is a verb. So if this all sounds too complicated, don't worry about memorizing all these rules. The best way to learn is by listening and practicing. Remember that most native English speakers don't know the rules either. They just say what sounds right. With enough practice, you can get what sounds right too. So this is all for this video. I'm going to show you uh, or continue with the remaining tips next time. So if you have questions and you want to, let us say, ask me some clarifications or you want to learn something more, so you can just, okay, now what's happening? You can actually reach me, okay, in my Facebook and also in my messenger. And please check my YouTube channel, Laura May Teacher. So you can find there a lot of okay, Teacher Laura May Badal Gonzalez. A lot of useful videos that will help you improve your English. So this is all for this video, and feel free to comment or send me messages or even email me at laramay.gonzalez@deped.gov.ph. See you soon. Bye bye.